Hey there, I'm Sonali Singh. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about Control Rig Mannequin, which was recently launched on UE4 Marketplace and it's totally free. So, what is Control Rig? According to a GDC talk, it says graph based node interface that uses special rig units to manipulate bone transform. Which means now with help of Control Rig Mannequin, you can directly animate inside Unreal Engine. So you can make game ready animations directly in UE4. Say you're working on a game prototype or a cinematic and you have this whole scene set up inside Unreal Engine, you can directly block out a quick animation or manipulate existing animations in the engine itself. So let's jump in and see how it works. To download the Control Rig Mannequin, you need to open Epic Games Launcher. Now once you open Epic Games Launcher, you can find Unreal Engine here on the left panel. And then we need to go to Marketplace, which is right here on top. We can see a lot of cool stuff here, but we need to find Control Rig. So you can just search for it here. You can click on free and then create project. Choose a location where you want to save the project and then create. Now that the project is downloaded, we can move on to step 2. Now that we have our project downloaded, we can open it from library. So we need to go to library from here, and here is a project. So just double click to open it. Let's look at some basics first. Now this right here is the sequencer where you can animate. This is the timeline. And this is the track editor. So track editor consists of all those things that you can manipulate in this particular sequence. Now if you don't have the sequence open already, you can go to content browser. We have all the folders here. Under sequences, you have your mannequin control rig sequence. So you can just double click to open this sequence. Now first of all, you want to press G to get into the game view so that we can get rid of all these unnecessary things that we don't need right now. Now when you click on the mannequin control rig, you can see all the controllers through which you can animate. And also there's a small animation right here which says hi. Now let's look into some options. On the left corner here, you have an animation tab under which we have controls. If you click on the drop down, you can see the whole control rig setup. We also have animation under which you can find some options which says display hierarchy, hide manipulators. Now hide manipulators is to toggle the visibility of the controllers. Then there's display access on selection, and this last option which says only select rig controls. This one is really important one because it helps you to select only the controllers so that you accidentally don't select anything else in the viewport and mess it up. Now there's a small issue regarding this option which I found. For example, if you have this chair selected as the last thing in your viewport, and then when you turn this option on, now if you select a controller and move it, you might get confused as the selection of the chair is still on, as it shows that yellow highlight thing. It's just a visual issue. If you move it, it won't affect the chair. It's just to avoid this confusion, you just need to select a controller and then turn on this option. Now we need to reset the pose so that we can start animating fresh, and there are different ways to do it. For example, if I want to reset this hand, I just need to select the controller and then I can delete all the keys from here in the timeline. Or I can select the controllers and then reset all the values from here under controls. But in this case, we want to reset the whole body so that we can get the default pose. So there are two ways to do it. You can close this drop down, select mannequin control rig, and then select all the keys and press delete. Or if you want to drag select, Unreal won't let you do it in the perspective view. So you need to switch to any of the orthographic views from here. And then you can drag select and reset all the values from here. We have our character all set in the default pose and we are ready to animate. But before jumping into animation, there's one important thing that we need to consider. We need to find this icon which has literally a key on it and also says creates a key when channel properties change only automatically adds a key when there's already a track and at least one key. So we need to manually put a key by pressing S on the first frame for this function to work. For example, I'll select this hand and then press S on the first frame. Forward in the timeline on frame 20, I'll move the hand up. And then you can see there's a key automatically created in the timeline. Let's create a pose in between, say around 15. Yeah. Now you can hit the play button to see the animation. Also, you can set it to loop from here. Now while animating, we need curves to manipulate the interpolation between keys. So you can find the graph editor right here. Once you click in, you can see all the curves right here and then all the different interpolation methods on the top. So by default, the interpolation method is set to auto, which gives us a nice ease in and ease out to the hand. If you select all these keys and switch to linear, it moves at a constant speed. There's no ease in and ease out. If you switch it to constant, we can only see the primary poses and there's no interpolation at all between the keys, which also acts like a blocking in animation. So that covers the essentials. Now that we've gone through everything, let's start animating something. So I thought I'll make an animation with a few poses where the mannequin is just sitting down and chilling, having fun and holding a glass in his hand maybe. Now I don't use Unreal that often, I always animate in Maya, so for me it's a bit difficult to navigate in the viewport, so don't mind that. This is a very basic animation that I made in just 30 minutes to test how the control rig mannequin works and how efficient it is to animate with it. Holding the glass part is to highlight some of the controls which we added and customized on our own. To parent a prop, you need to drag it on the mannequin in the world outliner and you'll see a list of bones appear. There you can select any bone you want the prop to follow. So in this case, we've created a virtual bone for the glass in the hand space parented to the middle finger joint. Now this bone is being controlled by the prop controller created in the control rig script. So this allows the prop to follow the right hand and also gives it flexibility to move in its own space. You can see I'm directly switching between viewport cameras. Now there's this feature which provides you the ability to set camera locations and rotations as bookmarks. And you can switch between these, which is what I am doing. In order to do so, you can press Ctrl plus any of the numbers from 1 to 0 along the top of your keyboard. So you can have up to 10 such bookmarks, and to recall a bookmark, you can simply press the number you chose for that particular one. The two red arrow controls on either side of the character are the fist controls constrained within a limit. So if you drag it all the way down, you can make a fist easily without having to animate each finger individually. Now for animators out there who use Maya, Max, Blender or any other software for animation, and if you're thinking about using this, I would suggest you guys to wait for a while as this needs some more features right now and there are a few bugs and issues. To start with, the project crashes a lot. mostly when you work with the scripting. Also, it won't update the control rig script directly sometimes, so you have to delete the existing control rig sequence and create a fresh one. It won't let you select any control, and this happens a lot of times. You can get through this by selecting anything else in the world, maybe any prop, which brings your transform gizmo back, and then you can select any control. Now, in case I want to adjust the keys of a particular control, for example legs, it won't automatically focus on the selected track in the sequence editor. So I have to go all the way up and down in the timeline to search for it. Now this one definitely needs to be fixed, and the whole system can be made a bit more intuitive. I had fun trying this out, but it would be great if Epic can release some official documentation regarding this. Until then, I would suggest you can use the Live Link plugin that UE4 provides that lets you have the full control over the animation in Maya while still seeing a preview of your work real time inside UE4.
Now you might have noticed I even animated the fingers using a customized rig control. So if you want to know how to do it, let me know in the comments down below so I can make another video on it. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon. Until the next time, see ya!